First day of being jobless, and this is the first time I've been fired from my job. I really didn't think that they could do that before Christmas. Like, that is super cruel. Yeah, they could have just waited until the end of the year, you know? They could have just gave me that. It's very corporate of me to shoot on my bed, but I don't care. So this is the story of me getting fired on Christmas Day. The clips you just saw are from Tuesday. This happened on Monday, and today is Sunday. And I had a few days of processing everything that just happened to me. This isn't an angry video of bashing the company or whatnot. I had maybe a fault in this as well, but this is just a reflection, and maybe someone or some people may relate to what just happened to me, because I know I'm not the only one who dealt with this or is dealing with it right now. And yeah, I would just like to reflect on everything that happened these past few days, because it was a lot, honestly. This is the first Christmas where I felt like super empty. And I'm not saying that my job was fulfilling me in any kind of way. Maybe like financial it was, but like I didn't like my job at all. I was searching for a new job just to find something that was fitting my purpose and what I want to do, but I didn't find that, unfortunately. So I would like to start with that I didn't get a reason, like a specific reason why they let me go. Mainly they told me that they don't have a budget for the expectations that I have for my salary. In the start of December, I was very vocal that I should receive a higher salary, since in my contract I was labeled as a support technician working with English, and I didn't had only English. They made me work with French as well, even though I specifically told them that even though I've graduated French high school, I have B2 diploma for French. That was 10 years ago. Like, my French is not the best, but I can try to work with it. So I had to deal with a lot of French clients. I was writing emails in French. Like, most of my work was in French. There was in English as well. Most of the stuff that I was dealing with was in French. So in the start of December, since in my head my probation period was gonna end soon, because I started in 13th of June, and in my head, 13th of December is when probation will be over. And I thought to myself, yeah, maybe I should be vocal about this, because usually when someone is with 2 or more languages, they are compensated differently, and I really wanted that to happen to me. And instead of them doing that, they promoted me in a way that saying that all of the Bulgarian team was performing very well. And even though I was still in my probation period, they told me that, yeah, you are also getting a bit of promotion because you're doing very well. Like, my performance was great. I had like clients that wanted to work with me because they know that I would do a good job. I mean, even in the short span of these 6 months, I would say 5, because in the first month I was, in my training, I was doing really well. Like, I understood the system, most of the issues, and yeah, my performance was really great. Like, they couldn't say that I was performing bad or I didn't understand what I'm doing. Here in Bulgaria, at least, when you're on your probation period, you can get fired very easily, like from today. And they don't need to tell you why they're firing you. It's a decision made by them. I believe they just saw the opportunity to do that because it's easier for them. And yeah, the timing wasn't the best. So right before Christmas, it made it really hard on me, because a couple of days after, even though I have great support from my family, my boyfriend, from all my friends, and even people I haven't heard from a long time, they message me on Instagram and like a reply on these stories, and I was really touched that so many people could relate to this. That's why I even wanted to create a video about this, because I feel like it's a topic that it's important to shed some light. On Monday, my brain went straight into self-blame. Like, I thought to myself, like, I am the reason why this is happening to me. Like, I should have kept quiet. I should have waited until January, or like things like that. But instead, I was angry at myself that I didn't do that. It felt like I wasn't appreciative of what I already have, and I wanted more. In a way, that's true. I still feel like that, but I don't really regret asking for a higher salary. Advocating for myself wasn't a mistake, even if it costed my job. Like, I know my value, I know what I'm worth, I know what I can do. And they could have just said no, they could have been like, you're doing a great job, we don't have a budget right now for what you're expecting. Perhaps in the near future we could have, and we can, after 1 year, for example, after 2 years, we can like look at it. I don't mind working with French. I was a bit even happy that I'm working with French, because I've struggled so much during my high school to learn that language, and I was writing like essays in French, speaking French, and all of that. Like, it's a bit of a trauma to me. But I was happy that I was getting used to that again, and perhaps refreshing it. But in my head, I was also like, I need to be compensated differently, because it's usually like that. With English, it's like a basic salary that you will get, at least here in Bulgaria. And every extra language that you work with is always compensated. Losing a job is hard at any time, honestly, especially if you didn't make plans of what you want to do like after losing it. And that's like my case. I have a lot of ideas of what I want to do with my life, but in a way I'm a bit scared, because I'm pushed with these financial things that I need to cover. Like, for example, the apartment that I'm living right now, I have a bank loan. I need to pay every month a fee to the bank, otherwise I will lose it, of course. I need to pay for my electricity, for my water, for my internet, for my phone, for my food, like a lot of things, and it's in a way, when I got fired, I was like, how am I gonna afford like living, that was like my first thought. That's why I was so sad on Monday and on Tuesday, even though it doesn't really show on the videos, but like inside of me I was feeling really, really empty. Like, it felt like I didn't have any reason or purpose of living, which is crazy. I'm not gonna say this is a blessing in disguise. I'm still in it. Like, this still hurts that it happened to me, but I know that this happened for a reason. Like, the fact that this happened right before the year ends, it just helps me realize that there is something better for me out there. It's not this job. If this ever happened to you, or if it's happening right now, trust me, the fault is not entirely yours. You should always stand up for yourself, especially if you know what you're worth. And no matter how selfish it may seem, we all work for money. We don't work for respect or to be liked or whatever. I work, or at least I work, for the money I earn. And if I do the job correctly, everyone is satisfied. I've done my part, so I'm expecting the right compensation. So even though I could have waited for my probation period to end, even though I thought that it will end, but because I had a sick leaves, also I used some of my vacation days, this probation period basically extends. That's why the probation didn't end on 13th of December. It extended to, I think, January something, or the end of December. I am not sure. I didn't even bother calculating that because I mean it's not even worth it at this point. But my whole take about all of this is that I'd rather be unemployed right now than be silent about my worth. And this isn't the end of my story or anything like that. It's just a really uncomfortable chapter in my life, and I know that I will get through it. Like I know myself that like with every hardship that happens to me, I get a blessing, and I always believe that. And you should too if you ever have struggled with something like this, or if you're dealing with something like this right now. Don't worry. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. There's always something brighter and something better. Everything happens for a reason. If you've been through something like this, all I want to say is that you're not alone. Drop a comment below if something like this happened to you ever. I would love to hear your stories, and that will make me feel less alone. Like I don't think I'm alone right now. Like I said, I really have a good support. It's really good when like people are sharing their struggles. It really makes them feel less alone. And from what happens next, I don't know. I mean, you're probably gonna see if you keep watching what I upload, because I really want to get consistent with this. I want to get better at talking to a camera. It's kind of weird, but it's not that I haven't done it. I've done it like a lot. I think what I want to do with my life is just create. I want to create stuff. It doesn't matter if it's content, or I want to paint, or maybe create music. I don't know, just create. I want to create. Since I'm unemployed right now, I think I will have the abundance of time to do what I wanted to do and not to delay it. And I'm starting with this right now, just sharing my story and what happened to me. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great day. I have this sense of hope that this is actually how this was supposed to be, and I should be grateful that this is happening to me. I'm meant for something better, and I'm about to find what's that.